maniacs.
Geo Gearheads.
Welcome to Geo Gearheads. This is episode 402. It's Randomize 89. That's LXXXIX for those of you playing the home game. I'm Chris of the Northwest, along with our host, Daryl W4. And Daryl, you know how much I love these randomized shows. I don't have to convince you.
Oh, I do. They are so much fun because we get to talk about a whole bunch of random topics. Though this week, ironically, there's not that much random about them. They all seem to fall into two categories.
Well, it's somewhat random.
Yeah, we have kind of a random collection within those two, but it's nowhere near the craziness that we usually have for these shows. So instead, we had to bring in a random guest.
How very random. Who could it be?
It's that guy over there.
Hello.
He's over there. Hi, Shane. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
So for those of you who don't know, this is Scott Burke's son of the geocaching podcast fame. And most of you will know him from that show, I think.
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times, I think.
Yeah, and mentioned more than a couple of times.
Yeah, I hope.
You hope so?
Yeah, it's
So we brought him in today just for fun, and I hope, Shane, you'll enjoy it too. But we're going to kick off the randomness of today's show with Geocaching International Film Festival, because the GGH, they introduced the 16 films for 2019. Before we start, Shane, have you been to any of the Geocaching International Film Festivals?
I don't think so, no.
So you don't know the entertainment that is the GIF with the, or good GIF with the weird and funny ones like Geocaching is Free. Still, I think one of the classics.
I like that one, to be honest.
Or It's Not Trash, It's a Geocache.
Yes. That's a catchy little tune, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those. It's so bad, you know, the song, but it just sticks with you. In any case, we do have the 16 films. These are going to be November 7th through 17th that you'll be able to do the events, and hopefully we have some of these hosted around you, wherever you might be. But I don't have a clue if anyone's hosting in my area yet. We typically have one team, one family that does all the legwork and hosts one. But we have a longer period this year, so maybe we can even make it to 2.
I was going to say it's 10 days. Doesn't that seem unusual? But then again,
they've done that before. Yeah, it's 2 full weekends. They've done that before. So I'm hoping that we can hit 2 again, because we did it last time they had the 2 different weekends, because it is nice to watch it twice.
You know, it really is. It's like any of the big summer blockbusters. You want to see it more than once.
So we have a variety of entries this time that look interesting. The first one that they mentioned is My First Geocache. Seems kind of, I don't want to say pedestrian, but, predictable maybe.
Yeah. The next one is interesting. Calling of the Apes.
And this one really has me interested.
Mm-hmm.
I'm envisioning it being something about going to the 2 remaining ape caches.
Yes, exactly.
But I don't know. I'm hoping it's something a lot more entertaining than that.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing a trip to the one in Brazil.
No, but I'm thinking maybe it's people in ape suits finding the ape caches.
Ooh.
Shane, feel free to jump in too if you've got any thoughts on what any of these titles could be.
Okay.
And the other thing is, I don't think I know any of these geocaching names except maybe DNF Hound. I want to say I've run into DNF Hound.
Yeah, I was scanning through. I mean, I know Komikino. Sorry, I have to say it right.
Do I actually know them too?
He's a YouTube blogger from this area.
Oh, you know what? I probably do recognize him if I like saw him, but maybe not. But the looking for a new love, not really sure what that is.
Looking for a new love. Wait a minute. Shane's got a time machine.
Whoa. It must be those growth hormones.
Oh, sorry. Oh, thank you, Shane.
I don't know what your dad's feeding you, Shane, but you suddenly got old.
So we are. I am currently. Oh, I am loud here. How's that? Is that better? How do I sound?
Same for us.
Same for us, which is good.
Hello.
You sound great for us, but
I got people on my show who listen to my show know that I bought a new computer. I finally bought. This is a 10-year-old iMac I'm looking into. A 10-year-old show runs my show. A 10-year-old iMac runs my show, and it's been showing its age as of late. So I finally splurged and bought a new computer. So I just got it today. So I've been busy, getting it all set up and everything.
There's so much to do on a new computer. You don't realize how much you've personalized your existing one till you get a new one. You go,
yeah.
Wait, I don't
and then I have, I have my laptop, which is what I want to bring over to it. And it's, I don't have the right cord because my computer's so old that I don't know, none of the cords work. So I literally was at the Apple store and the guy's like, between the cord and the dongles that you need to fit on that cord, it'll be $100.
mm-hmm.
$100 in adapters. $100 in adapters. That's how old my computer is. Yeah. So
How much just for all new peripherals? Because you may as well go there.
it's ridiculous. So so Jessie was just at Target and she found a cord that I think is gonna work. So I was digging around the house. I don't know how hard it is to find a USB to USB cord. I thought I'd for sure have one. I don't have one. I don't have a USB to USB-C. I don't have any of that.
Well, the C stuff is probably all new for you.
Well, I have an iPad, but it's USB-C to USB-C, which I think it's USB to USB-C, but it's USB-C to USB-C, and then it plugs into the plug thing, the adapter that plugs into the plug. Sorry, I'm totally out of topic. I don't even know what you guys were talking about. So
well, we were talking about the GGH and the films for that
festival. Yes.
We left off on
one this year, but we didn't do one. But
so you got to take Shane to one.
Take Shane. No, Shane, you want to go to a film festival? I don't know where he went. He's gone. He's good.
He's gone.
He's the PS4. So he usually talks more. I'm quiet for you guys. Okay, hold on.
Sorry about that. That popped up there.
How's that? Is that better? How's that?
GSM times 2 says DNF Hound is the producer of It's Not Trash, It's a Geocache.
That's how I know him. Okay.
Sorry. How about that? Is that better? Let me know.
That is better.
That sounds good.
All right. Sorry.
At least from this side.
And is it true they need more banjo in the films?
You can never know banjo.
That and cowbell.
I wonder if that's what DNF Hounds is going to be this time with a new size, you guys. That sounds like a good one for a banjo melody, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it rhymes. I wonder if it's another musical one.
I'm thinking it is.
Yeah.
I'm like all head in the square right now. Look at this.
Your head is just huge right now.
Head. Dude, you got to put me on the other one, Daryl. Go ahead, click the other thing. I'm in like all head here.
The other thing. And that other thing.
Oh, okay. So number 5 in the list.
Look at your background. Look at you. Look at you way ahead of me. Look at this. I love it. Adorable. Sorry.
Adorable.
Yeah,
Adorable.
it didn't work quite the way it should have, but we'll leave it because it's not that important.
That's great.
Well, and usually we do the side by side rather than the 4 up or whatever.
Guys, I have to say something here.
It's all about Daryl.
I'm pretty proud of this here. Is that Daryl? I mean, for 10 years, literally. Oh my God, it's been 10 years, Daryl. For 10 years, I've been calling Daryl for help with podcasting stuff. Even when I make the joke, but I'm dead serious. When I almost about a year ago, no more than a year ago, when Andy called me and said, "Hey, I'm leaving the show. Do you want to take it over?" The first person I called was Daryl. because Daryl, I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew Daryl would help me figure out how to do it. So I've always called Daryl, and Daryl is always, God bless his heart, I love him to death, has always been more than gracious. And even when I didn't know him, before we were friends, always gracious. I remember when on the Chicago Geocacher podcast, we wanted to get a new soundboard. Daryl, literally, I barely knew Daryl, and he shot me a text saying, "Hey, I'll give you one for free. Just gotta drive down to Michigan, come get it." So God bless him. But Daryl actually texted me today and asked me a question about podcasting. It was a very proud moment for me.
Well, I guess technically it was actually about live streaming.
Live streaming a podcast. Yes, I was actually, I was pretty proud of that.
Scott,
Mhm.
you have come full circle, young
I
Padawan.
have. I am now the master. He's the
See,
Padawan.
he's the one who's gotten the multi streams working, the live streams on multiple platforms.
Yes, we have.
So yeah,
We're
that's one of the
we're streaming on Facebook and on
Twitter.
Periscope and Twitter,
Yeah,
and on and we're also streaming on our website and on YouTube. Yeah.
yeah. So it's one of the things that we kind of hope to be able to do with StreamYard, but unfortunately, StreamYard doesn't do that natively.
No, people are having trouble with that on StreamYard.
Yeah,
Is what it seems to be. It seems to be. I mean, it's still it's beta, for Christ's sake. How much you expect from that?
yeah. It's a beta that we pay for, so
It's
I kind of expect a little bit more.
But you know what? God bless them. It's a good product. As much as I complain about it, it's good. As much as I complain about it, hands down better than Hangouts, I think, personally.
Yeah, the only thing that I still really would like that's missing from the StreamYard currently is the auto switching.
Yes, that is kind of a pain. Guys, if you see us pan to the single spot, that's actually Daryl. I'm assuming it's Daryl doing that.
Well, Chris and I are both logged in as the official
you
user, so we can toggle who's doing those kind of controls.
can actually see. So you both have the access to that?
Yes.
Oh, you stink butters. I didn't even think of that.
Yes.
That's
See,
genius.
that makes it so much easier for doing like the banners and whatnot. Because we did one of the shows, which was a huge pain in the butt, where we had a bunch of the overlays
Uh-huh.
with the references for the markdown language.
Genius. Yes.
So one of us would be talking and the other was switching the slides, because otherwise it was a little bit too
See,
confusing.
what we find irritating is that me as a person who's coming to the show, I can't see the chat. I have no access to the chat.
Oh, that's now available. You can see it, but you can't select anything. You can't chat.
Right there. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
That's new. When did they allow that?
Last week.
Oh, look at that.
It's within the last 2.
See, I always see it, so I don't have an issue with it. So
Right. So this makes us so happy.
Yeah, that makes things easier.
The only problem is you can't comment
because
you're not signed into YouTube.
Really? Is that what it is?
Yeah. That's what we assume it is.
So, no, that makes sense.
It makes sense, because the only other way that they could do it would be to comment as the official channel, which you don't really want to do, but I'd like to have that option still, a toggle to say, because of the way that it works on StreamYard now. And sorry for anyone who's not interested in this, but a little bit of behind the scenes.
A little off topic there.
The way that it works right now is you have a. Oh, sorry. What was that?
I'm saying they may not be interested, but I'm sure they're curious. I mean, that some people might be curious actually how this all works. We knew that we were all like, just treading water when we knew Hangouts was going away and what's going to happen, and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, well, and there was talk at
like life raft,
Right. Well, a lot of people were talking about, am I going to shut this down or not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this, and there was one other service that a lot of the Hangout users jumped to.
Yes, there was one more. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, right now we have a toggle that says guests can see comments or not. That's it,
Yeah.
So if they could add another one, guests can comment as channel, I would love to have that, because then you can have like a moderator kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then also give the option to maybe not show, but to flag, so that someone could moderate and flag the tags, the comments to go
up
into a queue for the hosts.
Yes, that's a very good idea. Well, you know what? Again, beta. It's
Yeah.
been around for
Mhm.
2 months. Give 'em some slack.
Yeah, and they're introducing a bunch of new a bunch of new features and cleaning up some of the other ones. So I'm pretty happy with it. The one thing that they did that I would really like to see expanded out is they gave you folders for the banners. I
Yeah,
want to see
uh,
that for brands,
yes.
or better yet, let me do overlays under the banner heading.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Time.
So,
Time.
all right, let's get back to the.
Yeah, totally off
No worries.
topic. Sorry about that.
We'll get back to the list of the I would call them shows, but the films that we're going to see is 5 is the Cash Police. That I figure can go anywhere.
When is the GIF event? When is that?
These are November
Okay.
7th through 17th.
Okay.
So 2 full weekends.
Okay. Okay.
And then we've got
I know there are some events out here. I haven't
oh, I'm sure there are.
which one we're going to yet, but I'm sure we will. We've gone every
Ooh.
year. It's like we don't go.
Well, see, now I have a new idea. I wonder if I could make it to a GIF event out there too.
In Chicago?
Yeah.
You coming to Chicago?
Well, we don't have plans to.
Like
We keep
you didn't
wanting
tell me you're
to, and it keeps
Chicago.
falling apart. But
Dude, Mike Mikasa Sukasa, man. You know that. You're always welcome here.
well, it's not the matter of the accommodation so much as just being able to get the time to actually make it out there with something else going wrong.
Yeah. Did we want to do Vampire? Wanted to do Vampire Empire.
I still very, very badly
you
want
want
to
to
do
take
Vampire
Renee,
Empire.
right? Yeah. You
Yeah,
want to take Renee to
never
that.
done that.
Yes. You've done Vampire Empire.
Yeah. You, Jesse, and I did it with like
Yes.
what half a dozen other people, I think.
Yeah, we did it with a bunch of people. Yeah.
And that's one of the things. That's one cache you really want a whole bunch of people for. Not too
Yeah.
many,
That's a fun one. Yes.
but somewhere in the like
in Chicago,
six-ish.
there's a city under the city.
the Pedway.
The Pedway.
Mhm.
It's pretty amazing. It really is. Yeah.
Well, especially because it wasn't planned out. It's an afterthought. And there are portions of it that are not below ground. There are portions of it that are above ground.
Yes. Daryl, if you come here, I'll give you a path tag. I finally got my own path tags.
Oh, nice.
But the rule is you have to meet me.
Well, and
Yeah.
I still have to do that cache on your porch.
And I have a cache on my porch. Yeah. But like people have been social mediaing me all week being, hey, can I get one? I'm like, no. You gotta shake my hand and say hello and have a conversation. And I will gladly give you a path tag.
You know what? I don't think you and I can have a conversation. Don't think that's possible.
Why can't we have a conversation?
Because we've run out of things to say.
I've met Chris once. I met Chris at where we met Woodstock, right?
Yeah, Woodstock and wow, yeah.
That's it.
I think it was more. No, there's
Yeah,
two
I met him in
Woodstocks.
Florida. Oh, you're right. That's like the one in St. Louis. Right?
St. Louis and in Cincinnati.
Yes, that's right. I forgot. You're right.
But both were kind of, shake the hands and run on.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you guys were doing a show on the first one, and then the second one, I was literally there for an hour.
Yeah.
Out the door. Yes. Okay. All right. Sorry.
For
Gift.
Gigstack. Yep. No. Cool. Very cool. All right. Oh, interesting. Off topic.
Oh, good.
Limax says, does geocaching.com have a nice handy tool for searching for the GIFs in your area?
Yes.
Do they?
I don't think is it a tool this time, or is it a list like usual?
I went to geocaching.com, searched only for events, and then says must contain the word GIF.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So why it's not, handy or automatic, it lists them all.
I thought I remember last year or 2 years ago getting an email
Yes.
saying all of them that were local to you.
See, and Scott, this is one of the reasons we don't do the
What?
3 boxes.
What?
So yeah,
What?
GSM times 2 has the
you
link.
Oh no, I'm a floating head again.
The link to the map. So we'll try to throw that in the show notes as well. I don't think I can actually highlight that.
You can't.
there,
That's
though.
one of the things I'm disappointed about.
Yeah. But you're throwing it on the screen. What more would you want, right?
Okay.
By the way, guys, let's see if I can find it. GSM times 2 says he's hosting 2 events. You're welcome to come out.
Oh, there you go. Where are you located?
California.
Oh, hi.
It's not gonna happen.
Well, I was going to say, as long as
that have
it's,
to do?
As long as it's highly subsidized.
Right. If you pay, I'll be more than happy to come out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll pay for my food, but don't know I can afford much else right now.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I'm trying to come out next year for 2020. We're trying to figure that out.
Well, and that's the worst part is I have no idea what that's going to cost yet.
Oh God, I can only.
And I've made the commitment. I'm doing it. I just have to
really?
figure out how to pay for it.
We're so hesitant on pulling that trigger, man. It's just like because I want to like. I mean, it's not even. I'm 48 years old, Daryl. Okay, I'm getting up there, and for 48 years, I have never been warm on my birthday, ever.
When is your
Ever.
birthday?
January 19th.
Okay.
I have never been warm on my birthday. Let me tell you something. More than once, I have spent my birthday alone. Okay, because I lived, like alone in my apartment, and it snowed horribly on my birthday. And friends and family, my freaking parents were like, "We're not going out. No, it's not happening. We'll go out tomorrow night." I'm like, "It's my birthday, literally once a year. It's my day." Like, no, we're not going out. Sorry. So like I told Jesse, I'm like, I want to be warm for my birthday. And I guess I could do it for my 50th, but now it's in my head. Now it's like I want to go next year warm.
Scott,
you got to
own
go
a
to like the Bahamas.
Right. I know. No, well, no, see, my dad lives in Florida. He retired, moved to Florida. I can go to my dad's house, stay for like a week, and it costs like nothing. It costs a
Sure.
plane ticket,
Yeah.
Like,
And some of those are pretty cheap.
Yeah, so we're thinking about doing that. Although the kids, and we're talking about taking the kids for Vegas for spring break. I mean, we take our spring break trip every year, so it's like all that adds up, man.
It does.
Yeah,
geocaching is definitely not free.
well, this trip will cost $5,000 easy.
Yeah.
This trip. I mean,
Yeah, I think the last one I did was close to that, and that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, the tickets and then the hotels and the
Car rentals and
ugh. I mean, we can't do the full week. There's no way we could do the Canada one. We'd love to, but like we can't. I mean, school. The kids are in school. We can't do it.
yeah, well, that's the other problem is we don't know if Renee has to be back for in services or something like that. The kids aren't supposed to be back in school by that point, but it's getting close.
Jesse's actually honking at me right now because she has groceries. She doesn't know I'm on a podcast. I'm texting her right now. I'm on a podcast.
Oh, you want to take a break while we finish up the?
She's legitimately calling me right now. Hold on. Here, hold on. Hello.
I suggest somebody come outside and pick up the basketballs from the middle of the garage floor and across the street, or they're going in the garbage.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Hello. Yeah, hello. She's not happy. And she's gonna be really not happy when she finds it that I just put that on a podcast.
Probably not. So maybe we should let you go and hide the evidence.
No, I'm fine. So let me text her meanwhile. Tell her I'm on a podcast.
All right. Getting back to the list, though, number 5 is the Cash Police. So that's going to be the interesting one, I think, because I'm envisioning something with an actual like siren and flashing light.
Ooh.
The Cash Police, is that what
Yes. Like the dream of those people who call everyone out for those mistakes. They actually run around on a scooter with a flashing light or something.
How many are there?
Cash Police. Films 16.
16. Is it really?
16. And isn't there a limit of like 3 minutes for the films?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, how many 16 times 3 is
Even then, the film festivals rarely hit an hour, as I recall.
well,
Maybe someone in the
Hey Siri.
I'm looking at the one in Seattle. It's 1:30 to 3:15. So
48 minutes, by the way.
That's
it was 38 minutes last year.
No, it's 48. 16 times 3 is 48. So
Oh, right. Yeah, but I'm trying to remember what last year's was because they used to run longer. So
I don't know. I don't remember. Not about an hour.
Yeah, I think the events were about an hour and a half last year, but I want to say that the actual reel ran less than an hour. But before that, I remember one where it was 2 reels with an intermission.
Oh yeah. Oh, like back in the day.
Yeah, it was like a 2-hour event.
Yes.
Actually, I think it was like a 3-hour event, but like 2 hours and change of actual films, and that was only like I want to say a dozen films. They were much longer. Anyway, so number 6 is You Can. I have no idea what to make of that one. 7 is Chernobyl. I cannot imagine that they're actually going geocaching in Chernobyl.
No, probably not. That's kind of
But there's been a lot of interest around Chernobyl lately, so who knows what exactly that one's all about.
right. I don't know. That's what's called Chernobyl.
Chernobyl. 8 is Coma 2 Hibernatus. Is that how that's pronounced, you think?
I would say that, yeah.
Again, no idea.
I don't know.
A geocaching mom's life.
Do you have the country of origin on these two, or just?
Well, we have the creators.
Oh,
So that one's Yuli and
that's
Athos_Rawl.
probably not American then.
Probably not,
No.
but that would probably make it a little bit more interesting too.
Yes.
And that's one thing is I noticed what I believe, mostly through clicking through, are a lot of off North American continent entries this year.
I noticed
like
that last
more
year
than
too.
usual.
Last year there was a ton.
It seems to be getting more and more international.
Yeah, way more international. I saw
Yeah.
it was more international than not that. I shouldn't. I mean, there's no reason that this has to be based in America, kind of a thing, but
No, well, it's supposed to be international, but
it is.
it for a long time was heavily weighted toward the US. And I'm sure that wasn't intentional. I don't know that they were trying to. Oh, okay, here we go. GSM times 2 got the runtime for us. The rules state that the total film length should be between 1 and 4 minutes, including credits. Film that exceed that limit may be disqualified.
Okay.
So there we go. The Geocaching Express 6000 GPS receiver.
That's the name of it.
That's the name of it. By Geo Elmo 6000.
That's probably American.
I believe that one was. But that one is, I'm sure, going to be hysterical.
No problem.
Those fake units usually are.
Some were pretty good last year. They were funny.
Yeah, well, I don't know that we had any. Oh no, we had the closest thing I think last year was that UFO one. Yeah, to a
UFO one.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the aliens who were a guy wanted to place a geocache, but there wasn't any space, so he contacted the aliens and they beamed up all the existing geocaches around.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's the closest for that one. And then TFTC 2019. Again, not sure what to expect, but should be probably an interesting one. Go GeoFit. Geocaching documentary from Finland. Being Stealth.
Although one of them, the Finns had a really funny one last year, I think.
They did, and I expect this one to be
really good,
really entertaining.
I think it won ours, as a matter of fact. I'm pretty sure from Finland.
Walking Lazy Tom.
See, here's the problem. This is the problem. You know why there's no Americans? Americans are lazy. We're too lazy.
I don't know about that.
This is why I didn't do one. I'm just too lazy.
I was going to say, I think it's because Americans aren't funny.
Wow. Wow. Americans aren't funny. Where's my bell? I got to ring that. Ding.
All right, so where do we leave off? Walking Lazy Tom, a geocaching horror movie trailer.
Nice. That looks good. That sounds good.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised this is the only one that's actually like a trailer, but we might get into it and find that there are more. That's just such a great way to make such a short movie, and think of Hardware Wars and Classic Cases of the Nerd kind going way back there.
You drop Hardware Wars on us, really?
I have to.
You nerd.
Because those are all trailers.
So here's the thing, though. I could totally be wrong on this, but does Groundspeak actually like put them all on YouTube like 6 months later or something like that, or ever? Do they?
It was on Vimeo. I don't know if they're doing YouTube again, but it has been Vimeo.
But is it still live? It's still out there?
I believe it is.
You think that they would? I'm assuming they have an account, a YouTube account, right? I'm assuming.
They did, but it's they turn them public and private at times. So, and
Why won't
probably
they have like
unlisted.
2018 gifts, 2017 gifts, and just
Yeah, there were lists out there, and I'm assuming they stay out there.
Hmm.
But they might have arrangements where it goes away. So again, maybe if someone can grab the URLs and let us know, or at least let us know that they're up there, and maybe even which years, that would be helpful.
Mhm.
So then the last one is a normal Geo Day.
A normal Geo Day.
No, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like a day in the life then.
Yes. Well, I'm assuming again, that it's going to be humor based with, someone, walking into sticks and, tripping over things and dropping caches in water, something like that.
Mhm.
I just kind of got the feel from a lot of these titles that it's mostly humor this year,
Really?
which generally works pretty well.
Hey man, humor works. I like humor.
Oh yeah. So definitely, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to hit as many of these, I think, as I can.
Mhm.
And I don't know about you guys, but I always enjoy them.
Oh yeah, I mean it's on our list of things to do that, So I'm sure when it comes around, I don't even know when they are, and I'll know. I'm sure we'll get alerts when it gets closer about an email or whatnot. But
Yeah, you will get the emails from
yeah, so,
geocaching.com.
we've gone every year. It's not like we miss them, so I'm sure we'll
Well,
have.
and there is still time for people to list the events. So hopefully, if there's not one in your area, you might be able to even come up with, and I'm not talking to anyone particularly on the show, but those of you watching or listening, hopefully, if there's not one in your area, you can come up with like a library that has the projector and everything ready. You just have to walk in with your laptop and the file.
Seems to be churches are the big winner. I see most of them at churches.
Oh, around here it's usually libraries, but I know a
Yeah.
lot of people who have done the churches
Yeah.
because they have the facilities.
Yeah, they got the big room and they got the camera.
Yeah, and typically on the Saturday you can grab the room without a problem.
Yeah, I've only gone to churches personally. If I'm going to be honest, I think every time.
I've not gone to anything but libraries that I can think of.
Yeah, I never even thought of a library. It's just always been
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there was another one.
It's always about 20 miles away.
Chris, you've actually been to a real theater though.
Yes, the one closest to Geocaching HQ. They rent the theater. They're doing it again this year.
Really?
So, yeah, it's a small little theater.
Oh, it's like one of those like old school, like
Very old school. Yeah.
local, very local,
Yeah.
really crappy seats.
Floor seats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and one was at a science center, wasn't it?
There was an event in the Science Center, but I don't remember it being a GGIF.
Okay.
Let's see. I went
That was the
2 years in a row.
Casher in Space or whatever thing.
That was actually at the Museum of Flight.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
They have a theater in there as well.
Okay. Yeah, churches here. All
All
churches.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of the other things that we wanted to talk about was the sudden appearance of the streak week, because we only had 2 days notice.
Yes, we did. Yes.
So for people who might have missed it entirely or already forgotten about it, this was August 29th through the 31st. It was to close out the month of August.
Yes.
Now, I think all of us completed that challenge of getting 7 days for one souvenir.
Yes, I did.
I know a lot of people who had major problems with that because it cleared out their area.
Yes, I did.
Personally, I made it to, I think, 9 days. And then I DNF'd the only 3 that I could get to before I had to get home.
I think I went 8. I went 8 days. Just
Yeah.
I was on vacation.
So it was like real lucky that it's just a week.
Yeah. I mean, Jesse and I were both lucky because a cashier who never puts out caches anymore happened to put out like 3 or 4 caches right in my neighborhood. And so we were like, oh, the time, and he didn't even do it for this. It was just total luck of the draw. He pushed them live like 2 days beforehand and we couldn't go for FTFs. So it's like they were just sitting there. So like we hit one a day, and then we went on our trip to I think Ohio. No, not Ohio, to Iowa.
Yeah, I
So,
was gonna say Ohio was earlier.
yeah, we finished off in Iowa.
Yeah. But here's the question.
Yes.
Did you like the lack of timing or lack of warning in this time?
I did actually. I know that sounds surprising, but I did. I like spontaneity, and I liked that it came out of nowhere. It was one of those like, oh, okay, cool, let's do this. What I didn't like, if you're asking me, thanks for asking, Daryl, was they're being kind of change the way you cash kind of thing, but you can't do that, but we can.
Yeah.
How to cash. I don't like that.
Yeah, I hear that one, but I
Yeah.
do like that it's done independent of caching, because if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. It's not like the souvenirs
Right.
really count for much.
But it didn't bother me. I was like, all right, let's go, let's do it. I wasn't like, what the heck,
And
like,
I kind of liked that this just happened.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was
I kind of got the impression that there wasn't a whole lot of planning at geocaching.com on this side either, but it was just kind of a, hey, you know what we should do to close out this month? Get something extra in for August. Let's do a streak, because we already can do that. All we have to do
Yeah.
is come up with the artwork and configure the parameters.
I didn't even look at the final thing. What is it?
I have
I couldn't tell you what it is.
the souvenir.
Yeah, what is it?
I don't think I looked at it either. I know I earned it, but I don't remember what it was.
I didn't look. Anybody know? Chris, did you
I,
look?
I didn't earn it. No.
You didn't earn it. Okay.
Oh, I thought you had earned it. Oh, my apologies. I
No.
thought you did.
Streak week? No. It was the start of school and I had a cold.
Oh.
Likely excuse.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. What he's saying, guys, is he's a wimp.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. So I did enjoy it. I actually did. I liked spontaneity like that, and I like that they I mean, which it actually surprised me, because Mystery at the Museum seemed to be a pretty good hit, and
It did, and it just came out of nowhere.
it took a lot of
And
work.
that's one of the things I liked, is that it did come out of nowhere, and it was following up something else that was big.
Here's a question for you, Daryl. I got a question for you, because you're the nerd I love so much. I have a question for you. Do you think, I'm gonna get conspiracy theory here, that Groundspeak did the mystery at the museum? Oh, look, there it is. Look at that. He's streaking. He's in underwear. I love it. So, Daryl, do you think they did that whole mystery at the museum to get people to use their app more?
I kind of thought that it might be, but in more conversations with people over there, it really was not. It was just a side effect of it.
Because they forced you to use it. They did. They absolutely did.
Yeah, that or the website.
Right.
And my original thought was really more toward getting people back to the website again to see some of the changes.
Mhm.
And to kind of showcase the power of their new search tools.
Yeah, they showcase the power of all the search tools and what.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, this is like a money grab. This is like look what we can do now.
But I don't think that's it at all. I think it really was a, hey, we finally have the resources, the power to do this.
Mhm.
Can we pull it off? And by the time they figured out how they could pull it off and whether they could or not, it was really too late to bring anyone else in.
Mhm.
But it sounds like they've made preparations this time around to get the functionality into the API. And next time they do it, they do want to have all of the API partners be able to, whether they will or not, but be able to participate.
I think that all aside, I really enjoyed what they did and how they did it, how they went about doing that, and I'd love to be able to actually let us do that, let us create in some way, so we can, I guess that's changing the way people cash, per se, air quotes, but like, what I'm saying? So like, whether it be a challenge or something along those lines, so you can see, you kind of feeling what I'm talking about here?
Well, I gather they are working on that for the Friends League.
Oh, is that what you think they're going with that?
Yeah, well, because there was an interview with Brian Roth on a different show where he was talking about they're working on doing that. He doesn't know that it's available for beta testing yet outside of the organization,
Mhm.
but they are beta testing private friends groups
Well, yes, I know they're beta testing that. Yeah.
Yeah, where you can set your own challenges.
Interesting. Yeah.
So that is, I think, where they're going with it. What was new about this one was the assignment of those virtual coins or credits or whatever you want to
Right.
call it. Those
I thought
different
it
things.
was really cool the way they did that.
Yeah,
It was
and
really,
think
'cause
about it on a
they were
simpler.
harder and like what was that one, the ruby or something? Which one was the hardest one to get? I mean, it like took a little bit. It took work.
Well, they were supposed to be actually randomized through the different caches. However, the problem was you don't necessarily know if or they don't even know if all of the caches with the ruby in your area were caches that you happen to find.
Found it. Yes, right.
Yeah, so that's the big problem with it. If you were to go to an area you had never cached in, you would find a very even scatter.
No, dude, guess where I was during that time?
Well, I know you went down to Ohio.
It was in Ohio. I was at the Mega, and
Yeah.
I'd never been there before, so it was all
Okay, well, and
Patches
also remember that after a certain date, everything got the detective. So all of those ones on the fairgrounds got the detective.
right. Yeah,
So that was a problem. And that's something that they'd have to
but I was already
fix.
past the detective. Well, no, only the new one
Right.
got the detective. Wasn't it only the new ones got it?
Right. Any new cache, any
it.
cache published after a certain point got the detective. So
Right.
all of the ones on the fairgrounds were new caches.
Correct. But when I was already up to the rubies by that point. The
Right.
whatever.
So you weren't going to find any rubies on the fairgrounds.
No, we had to go pretty far out to get that one red one. I think that was the hard one to get. Like we had to go pretty far out to get
See,
it.
for us, we had problems with the emerald.
Maybe it was the emerald. I can't remember which one it was. Yeah.
But
One-
we found 2 or 3 of them in Wasion.
Oh, so we got to the point where I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna cash. I'm just gonna cash, and if I get it, hey, awesome, I got it. If not, I don't. So we found like 20, 22 caches. I looked, I still hadn't gotten it yet. I'm like, you got to be kidding me! I still haven't gotten it yet. So that's when I actually looked for it. Like, okay, I gotta look for it. So
All right. Throwing back to the GIF, there is a link from GSM times 2 that he found on Vimeo for
see,
all of those.
there you go.
And Limax found one on Vimeo as well for the 2015.
Dang,
But it looks like there's nothing for 16 and 18, apparently. Or 17 and 18.
interesting. Okay,
So it might not be others.
why would they do that?
Yes. All right. But let's move on to the Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trackable promotion.
Oh, the trackable promotion. Yeah.
And Scott, I know you jumped on this as soon as it was announced,
Why do you say that?
because I know you want one of those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle trackables.
I there's a little secret that podcasters don't tell people who don't podcast. But back in the day, which was a Wednesday, by the way, when promotions came out, podcasters got a heads up on it. Mainly Joshua, and then Joshua told all of us, and so we would be one of the first. Because remember, it was like the first 1,000 got it, and so
Right.
I'd always get the trackable. But now you go into a randomized thing, it's all randomized. I have not gotten one since. I think I'm blackballed I haven't gotten one since.
Well, they haven't done that for any of us recently. I think Joshua is probably the only one who's gotten any of those, but it depends on the way that the sponsor wants to do it.
Yeah, I thought it was all randomized now. I thought that was the whole thing.
No, the random. Yeah, they give out the tags random, but they had the influencers that they were sending them to.
Yeah, I am not an influencer apparently.
Well, they haven't done any of those for any of the influencers.
Yeah, so it's
It's up to the
randomize it.
sponsor. So
Nothing. So
yeah, nothing here either.
forward, but I'm not expecting it.
The last one I think was the DuckTales, where they gave us the
I didn't get the
advanced warning.
I didn't get the Smokey the Bear. I didn't get the DuckTales one.
Smokey the Bear was not one that they did anything with the heads up, with the influencers.
I didn't get one. I got a Michelin one. That's like the last one I got.
Yep, I got the Michelin one as well.
We all got one. You see that?
Yep. But that one I don't think we. Oh no, we did. That was the first one where they actually tried that. So there were a few of the podcasters that got the Michelin trackables to give away on the show. Not a
Right.
whole lot, but But yeah, so this time it is, from what it looks like, just like the DuckTales, it's going to be the race between the 4 tags.
Mm-hmm.
There's 4,000 of them this time,
Really?
which isn't that much.
No, not at all. Is it America only, or is it international?
I think it is US only, but I don't remember seeing it. But it is a Nickelodeon promotion.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's wherever Nickelodeon airs the show, I would imagine is there.
Oh, well, I mean, 4,000 internationally is like nothing.
No. Well, even in the US, that's not much.
I know, but like think of internationally 4,000. Yeah, that's nothing.
I'm looking real quick to see. Well, it's definitely not US only, because I'm looking at the events and they are handing them out events, which I think is very cool.
There's no
Which is why I don't think any of the influencers got it this time, because instead
they're handing them out. What was
they're
it?
handing them out through events.
I was hearing about how like you can have one. Nobody has an event yet in New York or something like that. Oh no, there's states that have it, right? Is that what it is?
Well, there's only a few out there. There's not many showing up, but we've got North America, South America, and Europe all with events right now.
Mm.
So it is going to be.
Yeah, I don't think like I could have one. I don't think that works like that.
No. They picked certain people to host it and sent them the trackables, I'm thinking.
Apparently, I'm not on that list of people.
But like one was in Louisville, Kentucky. That's the closest one to me.
Yeah, me too. Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that one right there. We also have this one's the next closest. Let's see when this one is. This one is. I can't see because it's off the edge of my screen and you guys can't see it at all.
That's awesome.
Isn't that perfect?
That's awesome.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, okay. Nice. That's not close.
No. And then Mexico. So there's only 3 in the US. This one's by Geocaching Promotions. So this one in New York or whatever it is by Geocaching Promotions.
So it's Groundspeak doing it.
New York.
Interesting.
Lackey Schmellis and Mama Bear.
Never heard of them.
They're the ones who run the promotions.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that we'll get them back on the show later on and we can get some more detail about this and all of the other ones, because I really do enjoy it.
Yes.
It's something else to make the game more fun.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
But at this point,
great.
none of the turtles have any mileage.
Did you win the Michelin one or come in like second or something like that?
I came in as a
runner-up.
Honorable mention.
Oh, you were an honorable mention. You're not an honorable mention in my eyes, Daryl.
I don't make it that high.
You're a winner in my eyes. In my world, you're a winner.
So there is no contest attached to this one again, though, which is probably how they can make it international.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. If there's trust me. I have won a contest from Groundspeak. It is not easy. Yeah, they don't make it easy.
Well, and it's not Groundspeak that does it. It's the various countries.
I know, but I'm saying,
and even
it would be
some of the cities.
Internationally, it was hard enough doing it from somebody from Chicago. I can't imagine internationally.
Well, and I was listening to something years and years ago when I was looking at doing for the original Cashmaniac show some contests and stuff. I was listening to someone talking about how you have to take all of these things into consideration, and they were saying at Disney they ran into a problem with their Canadian visitors, even though they're on U.S. soil, because they're Canadian residents. They had to do a math quiz in order to claim a prize.
A math quiz?
Otherwise, they would be taxed on that with something worse than like our capital gains or some BS like that.
Be taxed on it anyway, wouldn't they? They're out of the country.
No, because if they do the skills test, if they win it for their skills, it's no longer like winnings. It's taxed differently. They earned it rather than they
There's
won it. Yeah, something like that.
Winning is different than winning, kind of a thing.
Exactly. So yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So
All right. So all of this has been the official geocaching stuff. Chris, do you want to lead us into the GPS stuff?
Sure. First one we get is from GPS World that says 1 billion users, 1 billion smartphones are now using Galileo satellites. So the number of Galileo-enabled smartphones has soared to 1 billion in just 3 years. So somebody's buying smartphones out there.
Well, it's not just that someone's buying smartphones. It's that they're buying smartphones in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the little dirty secret that they're not telling us in there is until, well, and actually,
well, no, these are smartphones sold around the world. However,
right. And actually, they don't mention if their chips are, or if they're enabled to do the Galileo, just that they're capable of it.
Right. It
So,
goes on to say
in the US, it's disabled.
You know, I just signed up today. I signed up for I signed up to get the iPhone 11. I pre-ordered for my pre-order.
The 11 or the 11 Pro?
11 Pro, actually.
Or the Pro Max?
No, just the Pro.
Okay.
I don't like a phablet. I like a phone.
No. Well, and that was my thing is I'd go for the 11 because it's, not going to break the bank.
Right.
Except it's so freaking huge.
The 11?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like 5 points, like 5A, 5.
6.1, I think it was.
Oh, the bigger one is 6. The regular one's 5.
No. The regular 11 is bigger than the
then the
11 Pro.
Yeah, the Pro.
And then the Pro Max is bigger than the.
Yeah. So I had to pre-order for the pre-order. So like pre-order is tomorrow at 5 a.m. So I had to, because I'm on the Apple new phone every year plan, that thing.
Yeah, the iPhone upgrade plan. Yeah.
They let us get ready. So at 5 a.m. tomorrow, I could just do a couple of, boom,
Button clicks. Yeah.
done,
Yeah. Do a pre-approval process.
Pre-approval. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I pre-approved for my pre-approval.
Nice.
Yes. So I'll be getting probably in when are they shipping them? Probably in October, probably I'll get a new phone. So.
Oh, it's this month. They're still doing it, but the chances are, because you have to go through the shipping and, is the color and everything you want the most popular, then you might have to get pushed back.
You taught me.
I
have a white phone from Daryl. And let me explain this to you guys, everybody listening. Daryl woke me up to this and is genius. What do you do when you get a phone? What's the first thing you do? Chris, what's the first thing you do when you buy a phone?
Peel the plastic off.
And then what do you do?
Put a case on it.
Put a case on it, exactly. So you've got Apple giving you colors red, green, blue, blue. You know what? I don't care. Give me a phone. Daryl, why do you get a white phone? Daryl taught me this. He's a genius. This is why I love Daryl.
Well, because it doesn't overheat as much in the sun.
Overheat as much in the sun. That's right, kids. What matter, guys, if you're going to buy a phone, whether it be iPhone or an Android, get a white phone. Because you know what? Nobody sees it anyway. And why not make it easier on yourself? There you go. See, even Toby back there, you can't see him back there. He just said that's really smart.
I don't know that that's the case nearly as much as it used to be.
You know what? Okay, that being said, ever since I bought a white phone, my phone never has overheated, ever.
What about a mirrored case? So it just reflects the sun.
So it pushes.
I wondered about that too.
Everybody else in the car hates you.
Getting to the
in their eyes.
Design of the new iPhones, though, I hate what they're talking about, but at the same time, it sounds like these new glass backs are going to be much grippier.
Grippy.
Yes, they're not. Everyone was pretty much saying it is surprisingly easy to hold on to.
Well, the 10 is terrible. 10 is horrible.
Yes. And and who knows what it's going to be like when you actually get it out there and you're using it for a long time. But the 11s are so much better than the 10 and the 10S are for grip.
But irrelevant, you're going to put a case on it.
And the 11
case on it. I mean,
I went to the metal back again, and apparently the metal back on the 11 is less grippy than the glasses on the 11 Pro.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm not touching anything until I get my hands on them.
I mean, I'm gonna put it in the case anyway. I don't care. So
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely going to put it in the case, but I want to get my hands on them because if the 11 is, because it is, as I understand, it's smaller than the the 10R, the XR, which maybe isn't going to be so bad.
Did you watch the? I want to say the Steve Jobs thing, but the keynote, but it's not.
No, I didn't.
When are they just gonna call the eye camera and just make it a camera with a phone and not a
You
phone?
know, I would not be surprised that there is a version of that coming at some point.
I mean,
But
it's
remember, they did already try the camera thing and failed at it miserably.
quick take back in the 90s.
Yes. And now they're reusing the trademarks from those.
all that, yeah, I saw.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably running out. That's probably why they're doing it.
Well, it's a lot less expensive to reuse than to coin new ones. And, what are you going to call it that you could actually trademark it?
I guess 20 years is enough time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Well, and those of us who actually remember it are going to be nostalgic. Hey, we are so happy that they're bringing back this groundbreaking camera. The name of it in spirit.
yeah, that was my first digital camera. Was a quick take, Apple Quick Take. But
So are they going to rename the iPad Mini to the Newton?
Well, I was just thinking the same thing. When are they going to have a message pad?
how have they not had a message? How has a Newton not made its way back yet? That's
I know. Well, because the Newton was not loved.
no, it was not. I remember I wanted it, I couldn't get one.
I liked it. I actually
Did you have one?
no. My boss had one because they were $1,000. Back in like '92.
I thought you had to be in school to get one.
No, that was the eMate,
The eMate. That's
which was a Newton, but that was the one that had the keyboard.
yeah, yes, right. Yes.
Yeah. So those you had to be a student or a school to buy them. It was education only. But they had the message pads, which were the Newtons for like the average Joe and for businesses. My boss bought one right off the bat, and we actually tried to develop on it, which we quickly learned there's not much that you can do, but it was a huge, huge success for the surveys.
Oh, yes.
So they lasted at least 5 years that I know of for one of the major survey companies after the Newton line was discontinued because they could not make Windows CE devices work for them.
Well, didn't Steve Jobs kill that quick once he came back? Was that like the first?
He killed that as soon as he walked in the door.
Yeah.
This is John Scully's project. Off it goes.
Bye-bye. Yeah. But the camera on the new 11 is ridiculously incredible.
So we understand, but I'm anxious to see what it actually does. But don't forget, it's actually multiple cameras on there. It's not just one with multiple lenses.
Like they spend all this money and they do all these things, and maybe just because I'm a Gen Xer and not a millennial, but I just take pictures with my phone. That's all. I don't change the settings at all. I literally swipe, push.
Well, you don't have to so much, unless you really want to try to accomplish something particular.
Maybe I'm not artsy enough, but I just don't take artsy pictures. I just
it knows what the average person wants from a photo, and it gets it there.
Yeah, I guess if you're a photographer, it's pretty amazing, but it's just, I don't know. Yeah.
I still would rather shoot with my DSLR, but I never take it out. It's always with the camera or the iPhone.
You said the other day, Jesse was commenting on that she has this really expensive digital camera and she never uses it because she has her phone on her, So,
well, and also in defense of the DSLR, my D700 is 12 years old. I have one of the early releases of the D700. The thing is ancient now. It's 5-6 years ago, I was thinking I really got to find a replacement for this.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's a camera that's at its prime. This is a camera that's been well used. I think I've done something like 40,000 shots on that camera.
Really?
So it still works. It's something, to really be proud of, that, the camera's got, 40, 50,000 shots, whatever it is on it. And it's still working at 12 years old. And,
it's funny because the earliest, my oldest kid is 14 years old, and the pictures of him as a baby are all taken from like my my digital camera, my phone I had at the time, which was a come on, help me, Daryl. Give me like mid
the original one or the original iPhone?
No, before the iPhone.
Nokia?
No, It was a what had the keyboard on and stuff. It was
Treo?
a Palm.
Yeah, the Palm Trails.
Yes, I have
Yeah.
Toby with the Treo, and oh man, did that camera suck.
Well, I want to say that was like 640 by 480.
Oof, brutal, brutal.
You know, it's a cheap, video sensor basically.
I have video and audio too, and it's like just horrible.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing.
but at least you have something.
And you thought it was cool at the time.
Oh, it was incredible at the time, dude. My hand to God, I talk about this all the time. The coolest thing, the most mind-blowing thing I've ever done. I'm 48 years old. To my life in this time so far, the coolest thing I've ever done is lay in my bed with my laptop with no cords surfing the internet. Just blew my mind at the time. Still blows my mind. I mean, still.
Well, and at this point, it's hard to have cords for internet.
I know. Now you're like, what do you plug it in? What do you mean plug it in?
Yeah, who has Ethernet? What the hell is that?
But like, I'm just sitting there in my bed with my laptop on my lap. Go figure. Going, this is incredible. This is amazing. I was blown away by it. I mean, so it's like, God bless, man. I love living in the time I live in, where, and to see where it's going to go in another 20 years. I mean, oh my God, I can't imagine. You see now with the whole chip in your hand that you could like pay for crap and do all that stuff. You see that? God damn, man.
Yeah, that's not that they've been doing that for a while actually. They have like little grain of sand kind of.
Yeah.
It's like a grain of rice. It's NFC. Someone did a trackable like that, back when I was still on the geocaching podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you had to take at the time it was only the Android phone with the NFC reader, and it would pop up the tracking number.
Oh, God. So someone still has that in their body to this day.
Yeah. I'm sure. Well, who knows if they still do. I haven't heard anything more about it because it's, passe. But there's people who have been doing the HID key fobs.
Right.
In their hand too.
Right. So Doug Jones says, yeah, I used the Apple digital camera to take pictures of my daughter after she was born in 1998. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I had the quick take. In 97, 98. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, they had multiple versions of the camera, and the 210, I think it was actually pretty decent.
I can't remember which version I had.
But all of the later ones, the 120, the
I think I had
180, the 210, were all made by Kodak.
Were they?
Yeah. So I actually got a Kodak version of it because you got more features.
I remember 1995. I had a laptop with 12 colors. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And I spent over $100 on a video thing. It was a little ball that sat on the top, sat on your desk. Daryl, what was the name of that ball?
Connects.
God bless you. God damn. Remember
Hey,
that?
I got one of those for free from a developer conference.
Good times, man. Good times.
And I did stop motion
yes.
Videos playing with some of the software, and nothing that I ever did anything with it like got deleted probably within a week of me creating it.
Actually, me and my buddy who lived in LA, this is like 1996 we're talking here. Me and my buddy who lived in LA would actually video chat in 1996.
Yeah.
And we were blown away.
Yeah.
And now I talk to Mark in England and on video chat all the time. I'm like,
and record shows, and look at what we're doing now.
Amazing.
We're doing HD live streamings, HD, which no one even heard of or thought of. Yep. Well, I shouldn't say that. Back in the early 90s, we were talking about HD TV and how to do the production in HD.
Oh.
So it was a long time coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing. It's fun to watch. It is.
Well, back in the early 90s, actually, it might have been I think it was actually late 80s. We were working with guys who were developing the technology for HD TV.
Mm-hmm.
And do you remember the $10,000 Mac 2s?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, sure.
They were using those as the hosts for the compression boards that they were using for it.
Yes, I remember that.
And we were all going, this is never going to work if you have to have $100,000 of equipment behind it.
No, probably not.
But hey, some of the automotives that we were working with at the time were also using Mac 2s and Mac 2 FXs, if you remember those.
Oh, I don't remember those. No.
Those were the super high speed ones. They were, I think, 32 megahertz.
I don't know.
But they were using those to emulate dashboards.
Really?
for product testing.
Huh. No, God, it's amazing just how far it's come. Really,
It is.
I don't think about it often, but when I do, good Lord, it amazes me. I love it. I love living in the time we live in right now. It's amazing. Absolutely.
Definitely. All right. Well, let's do one last GPS story. More changes, more improvement. Chris, you want to take this one too?
We're talking the second GPS-3 satellite in orbit.
Yeah, let's do that one.
So back in August 22nd, they launched on a Delta IV rocket a GPS-3 SV2, that's Space Vehicle 02, from Kennedy Space Center. And it is now in orbit, responding to commands under control and using its own internal propulsion system to get into its proper orbit. So it's exciting. New GPS satellites are in place, and it's not set yet. It's not in the constellation. That's the term for a bunch of GPS satellites, but it's nicknamed Magellan by the Air Force. It began its rocket ride on 9:06 a.m. from Cape Canaveral. So
it is very exciting because once these things are turned up and part of the constellation, they're going to have months and months that they have to do testing on it.
Right.
But these are the ones that have the new improved signal. They're faster, so even if you're on the older units, you should, in theory, get a little bit better accuracy.
Right. The article goes on to say that the GPS-3 SV1, the first satellite, its performance exceeded expectations during testing. So that could be very exciting for GPS users in the future.
Yeah.
Where do we want GPS to get here is the question.
Well, it's not so much a matter of better accuracy, but it's fewer errors and better building penetration. So you'll have fewer problems with losing signal in the forest.
Chicago.
The downtown Chicago caches suddenly become a lot easier because you're not going to be bouncing around as much.
Yeah, okay, but the next question is how much garbage we're going to have in the sky. There's the next question.
I have up there now.
Yeah, I know that they are actually like retiring these and like burning them up.
Are they?
Yeah.
Or is it just floating around? Just garbage floating around.
Whenever possible, they deorbit them. That's my understanding. And we do have Limax, so he might know better than we do. So hopefully,
it's geo
if he knows otherwise.
It's geo trash.
He says, I think we were given an invite to watch the launch of GPS-3.
Ooh.
Yeah, they don't try to like shoot him down or anything. That would be a mess.
That'd be fun though. How cool would that be?
Oh, and GSM Times 2 wants to know if you're going to have to go out and get new cords when the new ones are in place. And no, it does not affect the coordinates. It just corrects your, I shouldn't say corrects, but improves your accuracy.
Okay.
Limax says some get put into a parking orbit while others do get burned up.
There you go. A parking orbit.
Yeah, but they basically bounce them off the outer atmosphere to burn them up. So they can't, I shouldn't say can't, but they're not, they shouldn't ever enter the Earth's atmosphere, but they'll bounce it up until they burn up and you'll get a nice little meteor shower.
Yay.
That kind of thing.
Sure. Okay.
So yeah, the less stuff we have up there, the better.
Of course. That's why I was concerned. Like you keep just
Isn't that a shield to stop the aliens from invading? Kind of like Frogger.
No, they just burn right through it.
Like years, the ship's going up there, gonna be playing Frogger up there. It's like.
Well, and most of the satellites, as I understand it, at least, are above the orbit of like the ISS and most of the space stations and whatnot that we've been working on. So it's only if we're going up to like the new lunar missions,
deep space,
that we're really going to have to worry about it.
Aren't we supposed to be going to lunar missions in like a couple of years? Aren't they like 2024 or something like that?
Well, the Chinese and the Indians are both trying to do that now.
already, aren't they? I thought they were there.
Well, the Indians just did a probe that crashed.
Oh no.
They lost it.
Oh poo.
So they're back to
I thought the Chinese landed, didn't they? Didn't they go and land?
not manned.
No, unmanned. I know. Yeah, unmanned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Right,
all of
a high resolution orbiter around.
so yeah, there's a bunch of countries trying to get back to the moon, and the play is supposedly to use that as the launch pad for Mars missions.
Right. That was yes. I know that. Yes. Weren't they going to go build something there so you could as a launch so you could?
That's the plan. And I don't know if it's still the plan, but at one point they were talking about trying to mine the ice both for like potable water and to get the hydrogen to launch the space vehicles.
Not in our lifetime, kid.
I don't know. We've said that before,
I don't think so.
and we've got level 4 autonomous vehicles on the road right now. Granted, they're testing, but we've got them on the road.
Shane, are we going to go back to the moon?
What does that mean?
Do you think we're going to have people flying back to the moon and walking on the lunar surface?
Maybe, yeah.
Have people ever been on the moon?
Yes.
Yeah. When? Do you know when?
No, but I remember we read an article, I think it was last week, on the first 3 people to step on the moon.
Right. It was in 1969.
Yep.
Oh, that was a long
50 years ago, we were on the moon.
Wow.
And with our last mission was mid 70s, right?
72, 73.
Was it that?
Yeah.
I guess it was that early that they quit. But yeah,
me to a podcast from the BBC. The the 13 seconds to the or 13 minutes to the moon, and it's amazing we ever got to the moon.
Yes. And one of the problems is we've lost that ability.
Yeah,
we can't get back there right now.
The Apollo program, there was 350 to 400,000 people working at NASA.
Wow.
What? I can't conceive of those kind of numbers. And the average age was like 32.
Wow.
Shane, is that old?
No, that's young.
32?
Yeah.
So
It's like,
old? Is that
no. We're working at NASA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. How old should you be if you work at NASA?
I don't know.
Like 48.
18.
Do you think you get smarter as you get older?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should be 18 when you get your first job at NASA and retire when you're 65.
Lifetime NASA employees.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
I'm sure I wouldn't think that if I actually worked there, though. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week. Thanks, Shane and Scott, if you're still listening, for joining us today. And make sure to check out the Geocaching podcast if you haven't done so in a while. It's a totally different show in the last, we'll say, year or so. And then it's been a few months since we've had any reviews on the Apple Podcasts. So if you're an iTunes or an Apple Podcast user, please consider heading over there and giving us an honest review. We hope we've earned a 5-star review, but we don't expect it. And if we haven't, drop us an email to let us know why. That's geogearheads@cachemaniacs.com. And we certainly hope that we have earned those 5-star reviews. But if not, let us know what you think we could do better.
That's right. So you've got a whole week to go over there and get that review in, because next week, right in this same time, this same channel, we're going to have Magnus. He's going to come back and talk about Project GC again and what's happening over there. And of course, send us your questions and your comments about Project GC, about geocaching, heck, about NASA to geogearheads@cachemaniacs.com for that show.
Check out the Cachemaniacs website at cachemaniacs.com for more on the Geo Gearheads, including show notes for this and all of our episodes. We love hearing from our listeners, so leave us feedback by emailing geogearheads@cachemaniacs.com or through social media. Your support helps keep the Cachemaniacs shows coming. Please consider becoming a patron through the link on our website to support the Cachemaniacs shows. Geo Gearheads is produced by Chris Suffenauer and Daryl Wanberg. This show is copyright 2019 by Daryl Wanberg. All rights reserved.